What is up, guys? Drew, Traveler of the Burning Abyss, here with a video, and today it is not a Burning Abyss video. I had some people who were watching my stream last night ask for a striker list, as well as some people who watched my Burning Abyss video from Master Duel ask for my striker list, and I've actually edited it today because I realized I had some ultra rare cards in here that I was definitely not going to use, so I crafted them away. And I have put together the list that I feel is most optimal. This list is completely and entirely free to play. I did not put any money towards this list. I have other decks that I put a little bit of money towards, not much though, because there are special deals that you can obviously purchase through certain systems. And I did that for one other deck, but it wasn't anything crazy. It was just something to kind of troll people with. It was just an Eldritch deck, so I'm not going to showcase an Eldritch deck, so I don't think it's necessary to showcase that. It's just some trap cards. Like, just read some trap cards. It's basically what I have to do. But the Sky Striker list that I've been laddering with, I have not lost a single game with this deck. I've only played this deck and Eldritch on ladder, and I've only lost one game with Eldritch. So literally I'm X1 and I think I'm in like Silver 1 or Silver 2. I have to play a bit more. I don't always have a lot of time on my hands to play. So as you can tell, we're, basically a week into release, and I haven't had much time because I'm only in Silver 1 and I only have one loss. So clearly I haven't played as much as I'd like to, but getting into the list, I have 2 copies of Effect Veiler. I was not playing these before because I didn't have enough to craft them, but when I went through my ultra rares and I found all those spare cards I'm not going to play, I was able to make the Veilers, which is pretty good. Just need 2 of them. Basically, you want to summon this off of your Selene. Well, you summon it off your Hulk, and then your Selene brings it back, and then you have an Access Code play, which is pretty good. And we have 3 Max C because this card's really good. I played a game yesterday where my opponent tried to Max C me on, I think, a Rose summon, and I ashed it, and I just kept playing. Like, they had nothing they could do, which is pretty sweet. So Max C, definitely worth playing. Make sure you're playing this card. I'm going to reiterate this over and over again. This card is extremely balanced. Very, very balanced. I know some people get triggered by that. If you do get triggered by that, well, too bad. Suck it up, Buttercup. This card's just it's really fair. People who don't think it's fair, like, I'm sorry that you don't get it. Like, it's perfectly fine. I'm not going to argue with it. Everyone's going to have their opinion, but at the end of the day, we live in a game where special summoning 50 times a turn isn't punishable, and it should be with something like Maxi. So. And we have our 3 copies of Ash, which is just generic. You could also summon this off of your Hulk if you wanted to. So, like, let's say you have a Hulk play that you can make with this. You can always, let's say you can Shark Cannon one of your opponent's monsters or something. We'll give an example. Let's say you're playing against Salamangreat, and you can Shark Cannon summon one of their Salamangreat monsters and normal the Ash. You can then link the Ash and whatever Salamangreat monster they have, or whatever monster they have for that matter, for a Hida, and then Hida can take a fire monster from their grave, and you could also go into Selene that way, which is pretty cool. It's actually really, really strong too. So Ash is multi-purpose in this deck, which is pretty neat. And of course we play the 3-ray, because why wouldn't we play 3-ray? Like, that's just it's just obvious. Like, card's really, really good. It's, literally swing for, if your opponent has no board, it's just swing for 3,000. That's basically what Ray equals out to, which is kind of neat. Obviously, the recurability of this card is fantastic too. Your opponent pops one of your striker cards. Well, now your Ray is coming back, and you're going to continue playing the game with your striker engine. So 3-ray is definitely necessary. We have 3 copies of Rose. So I know a lot of people play either 2 or 1, but I want to see my striker names really badly, so I like to max out on 3-ray, 3 Rose, and then obviously the Hornet Drone. Like, you gotta play the Hornet Drone. Why wouldn't you? It's a spell card. So playing that is, in my opinion, of the utmost importance. So that's it for the monsters. 14 monsters total, which is not bad at all. It's pretty decent. We have 1 copy of Raigeki, so Raigeki is basically just free in this game, so you might as well toss it in here. It's a spell card. You're blinding going second anyways, so like why not play the Raigeki? The Rhoda, this is going to grab your Ray or your Rose, whatever you may need. That's basically the gist of that. I don't think I have to explain any more than that. 2 copies of Avarice. I would not play this if Kagari was at more than 1 in the game, but because Kagari is at 1, I think playing the 2 Avarice is it's almost essential, because you want to recycle your Kagari, it puts another spell engraved, and it lets you draw 2 cards. Like that, you really can't ask for much more. This card is fantastic in this deck. Then I played 2 Desires. I was playing 3 before, but I found 3 to be kind of bricky. I usually would end up setting the second one and then like using Area 0 or multi-roll on it, so I just opted to cut it down to 2. Still a really good card, just I don't think you need 3. 2 Engage, because if you're not playing 2 of this card in this deck, that's a problem. Like, this card is insane. We're playing 26 trap cards. Like, that's that's all that you need to know. 26 trap cards, and 2 of them are Engage. Like, that's fantastic. And we play 2 Afterburners. I think 2 of this is actually really good. There have been times where I've resolved multiple Vs in the same turn, and it's just won me the game flat out. So don't underestimate this card. It's really, really strong. We have 2 copies of Lightning Storm. I didn't have enough ultra rare gems to craft the 3rd, which is perfectly fine. This deck, basically, I'm running on 2-ofs for the most part. As far as the spells go, almost everything is a 2-of, which is pretty neat. Then we have 2 copies of our Area 0. I'm not playing the Terraforming, 1 because it's an ultra rare, and 2 because I just don't think you need it that much. Like, sure, it can be good, but Mystic Mine is, I'm pretty sure Mystic Mine is banned, so I don't see a reason to play Terraforming. There's just, when you have something that is as strong as Mystic Mine not available to you, like, why even bother? Actually, I'm going to check that right now while I have this up, because I kind of want to see if Mystic Mine is banned. I'm pretty sure it is. I honestly have not checked. Ooh, I just changed the name of the deck. That was not what I wanted. I've done that twice so far today, where I've changed the name of the deck, because right now it says literally Selene Mystic Mine, because you can tell what I was looking up. So we'll do Mystic Mine. Apparently Mystic Mine doesn't exist in the game. I'm a little confused. Not gonna lie. Do I have a filter on? I don't. Let's include that too, I guess. Yeah, Mystic Mine is banned. Okay, that's why. That will do it. Let me just actually change the name of this real quick, because it's gonna bug me if I forget to change the name of this. And I come back and I see it's Selene, and it's Selene the deck. So the Area 0, like I was saying before, not worth playing the Terraforming just for this card. I don't think you need to do that. If you want to and you have the gems, go for it, but if not, just don't even bother playing the Terraforming. Same thing goes for Upstart. Like, Upstart I believe is an ultra, but I also think Upstart is at more than 1 in the OCG. I'm actually gonna look that up. And I just changed the deck name again. You can see where my head is today, guys. But let's look up Upstart. So, yes, Upstart is at 3. So if you want to spend 90 gems on it, go for it. You could cut the Desires if you wanted to, and another random card. Maybe you want to cut Ash down to 2 or something. Or Raigeki, even if you don't want to play Raigeki. But like I said, this is free to play. I'm not putting any money into this particular deck list, so I don't see a point in making it, over the top with ultra rares when I put those ultra rares towards things that are going to be a little more important. So the Area Zeros are there too, though. The multi rolls, I play 2 as well. Card's really, really good. Like, really good. Honestly, I wanted to play the 3rd, and I do have the 3rd, but space-wise, I honestly felt like I could only squeeze 2 in with my particular list. You could argue that you could pop something out like 1 Rose and play the 3rd. I guess it's doable, but I'm running with 2, and honestly, I haven't run into anyone who's even gotten rid of this card once, so I'm not worried right now at the rank that I'm at. We have 2 Chalice. This is one of the best rare cards to craft in the game. Crafting this card is very, very good. Same with Torrential. This card in Torrential being rares is actually like super, super ridiculous. Very, very good. I'm actually really happy that they made that a rare, as well as the Torrential a rare. Like, that's actually sweet. We have 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. You could play MSCs if you want, but I think Cosmic is the better bet, especially considering there's a lot of Eldritch on ladder. Like, that's definitely worth noting. You got to play the Cosmics to out the Eldritch stuff. 1 Hornet Drones, it's just another striker name. We're playing 7 striker names total, which is pretty good. We have 2 copies of Widow Anchor. It's limited to 2, so yeah, we gotta play 2. It's really good. Like, this card's fantastic. You could use this card to really steal some games, or just link climb and break your opponent's board. So yeah, definitely play the 2 Widows. The 1 Eagle Booster, this has come up multiple times in games that I've played where my opponent has like tried to do something to one of my striker monsters. I have 3 spells in grave, I flip the Eagle, now it's unaffected, and then they attack it thinking they can attack over it, and they can't, and they just kind of screw. So yeah, the 1 Eagle Booster has actually been very relevant. I've been very, very happy that I've been playing this card, so definitely consider it if you're not playing it already. Then the 2 Shark Cannons. Yesterday I played against, I think, 3 Pendulum decks, and every single time this card did almost nothing. So, like, the card's good, it's just that yesterday I had bad matchups where the card is not great in those matchups, but it all worked out. I still won regardless. Now, moving on to the extra deck, we have the 1 Kagari that I mentioned before. This is something that you have to play. I wish it was at multiple, but unfortunately in this game it's only at 1, which we still make do with it. Like, I'm not butthurt over it. You can still make this fully functional with just 1 Kagari, which is why we're playing the Avarice to recycle it. You could also play, I think it's Hercules base, which Hercules base will let you recycle stuff. So yeah, you have ways to get your Kagari back. I think there's another card called Linkbound that also does something similar, but I'm not going to look it up right now. We have 3 copies of Shizuku because this card is really good at grabbing whatever resources you need during the end phase. So definitely play 3 of this, as well as play 3 Hayate, because Hayate is kind of a searcher in a way. The fact that it dumps to grave, like if you need a striker card badly, you dump it to grave, and then main phase 2 you Kagari, add it back, and then you just keep playing the game. So yeah, 3 Hayate is fully worth it. 1 Kaina. This has come up actually a lot, where my opponent will pop one of my striker monsters, I summon the Ray back, and then they try to attack the Ray, and I tag out into the Kaina because I'm playing on like basically low rated because I haven't played enough. They usually only make like 1 big boss monster, and then I just make it unable to attack, and the next turn I pop it with like afterburners and just win the game. And the some non-striker stuff, we have a Hulk, which I talked about. You summon the Veiler, you link the Hulk and the Veiler for Celine, and then Celine can revive the Veiler, and then you can go ahead and make access codes. So Hulk is a very strong card. The 1 Nightmare Phoenix is decent. It hasn't come up, but there are definitely, well, actually no, it did come up once, and it helped me link climb. So the card wasn't bad. It was actually half decent. I'm not gonna lie. Then we have the 1 Hida that I mentioned before. The Hida is very, very good in certain situations. You could also use Kagari to make the Hida if you need to, and then you can take like an Ash from their grave, and then you can go into Celine. So like, that's actually really cool. Like, that's something that you can do and kind of just make your opponent's graveyard help you link climb. That's just amazing to me. And we have 1 Zeke. The 1 Zeke is decent. I did not have any games yesterday where it came up because I was able to break my opponent's board without the Zeke. Like, every single board, every Pendulum deck too, I was able to hand trap them as well, which made it impossible for them to combo off because they didn't want to play something like Max Zeke. So the Zeke is still good though. If you're doing some sort of board removal, or if you're just link climbing, whatever you need to do, Zeke is there for you. The 1 Unicorn. Unicorn's good. It hasn't come up for me yet, but doesn't mean it's bad. Like, the card's decent. It's just that it hasn't been something where I've been like, oh my god, I need to make a unicorn. But there are definitely going to be games where the unicorn will come up, so definitely include it in your arsenal. If you want to swap it out, you can play something like Boral Sword. That's obviously an option. We have the one Celine that I mentioned before. I crafted this right before I started the video, and I managed to get it in the Royal Rare, or whatever they're calling this. Looks absolutely beautiful. Celine helps you do some crazy stuff with the next card, which is our Access Code Talker. Access Code obviously being a powerhouse of the deck, helping you break boards even further. And because you place so many attributes in your extra deck, the card just pops so many cards in your opponent's field, and your opponent really can't do much about it. They just have to kind of sit there and watch you destroy their board and basically swing with a monster that's probably going to be 5,300 attack points, which for them is going to be bad news. So that essentially rounds up the Striker deck list. I mean, it's really good if you're just getting into Master Duel. You can put most of this together with the gems that you get in the beginning of the game if you just kind of run through the solo mode and everything. I would highly recommend getting the Gold Pass if you've not gotten the Gold Pass or whatever it's called. It's 600 gems, and it gets you more rewards, especially like the ultra rare and super rare gems. It gets you all of those. So the more you use things like that to your advantage to help you get more gems to craft stuff, like that's just ideally what you want to do on a free-to-play type of budget. So this is honestly a very, very solid deck list that can compete with basically the entire meta. Like, it's actually very, very strong. So if you guys are looking to play a good deck list, I would highly recommend playing the Striker list because it's been working wonders for me. If you know how to play Striker, then obviously it makes things a whole lot easier, but Striker is definitely a deck that relies on the pilot of the deck to be pretty good at playing. That rounds up the video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, all that good stuff. You guys already know the drill by now. We're well past 1,000 subscribers, so I thank everyone so much. And I know the Burning Abyss video that I posted yesterday is doing absolutely fantastic in viewership, so thank you to everyone who's watched, thumbs up, shared, all that good stuff. It's very much so appreciated. But hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and this is Drew, Traveler of the Burning Abyss, signing out.